on this Freaky Friday. You already know we at work decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals, see what's the talk of the town is going down the word of the curve. You heard me. Let me just set this up real quick. Alrighty. Here in California, we are having a pretty hot day. But it's not too out of control, right? But it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Clear skies. Beautiful days to be out and enjoying yourself. I don't know about getting this weekend started. Just always make sure to stay aware of your surroundings when you're out there because it gets awfully vicious out there in the street. For everybody, even politicians and activists like Charlie Clerk. One thing that blows my mind about Charlie Clerk's assassination is that can nobody of somebody like of celebrity status ever just die like a normal death, right? Like he was killed by this individual who was troubled, right? It has to dive deeper into it, right? Like, oh, it was Israel and it was this and that, like other conspiracy theories, and I'm just like, why can't he just die regular, just like any? Like, why do people always got to add all this extra to it? Like, yes, of course he was the same person that assassinated him, assassinated JFK, Tupac, Biggie, Elvis. Like, yes, because there's always more to it. What's your opinion on Nick Fuentes? And Nick Fuentes is immature. He's an idiot, bro. But see, the thing with Nick Fuentes is I feel like he just does that shit just for attention, though. Like, he says, like, the most outlandish things just to get a shock reaction out of people. Like, he's immature. He's dumb. Nobody takes him seriously. Like, hearing him, I can't take him seriously like somebody who's actually cares about his political views, right? I just see him as a big-ass troll. Like, just a gimmick, an act. You know? Was an idiot. Was on their guard about getting taken advantage of. Serio. Nick Fuentes remind me of, America. They both Mexican but claim they're white. Is Nick Fuentes Mexican? I didn't know that. I always thought he was white. Or at least he claimed the white, right? Yeah, that guy's just a troll. I don't actually really think he believes the shit that he says. He just says shit just to say shit. Just because that's the only way anybody will pay attention to him. Because if not, people won't give him the time of day. Unless he says some outlandish shit. Not like Charlie Clerk or somebody else or like, nah, I'm not even going to say Candace Owens because she's a loony too. Or bipolar or something. She be having mood swings like a motherfucker, though. And she definitely cuckoo. But at least when this looks white. I feel like he's seen that that's the angle that worked for his channel, and he just decided to like capitalize on it because he wasn't like that before. Meaning, America. He wasn't like pedal to the metal like how he is now, right? I felt like maybe he felt like that was working for his channel and views, right? And he just ran with it. That's what I think, because he wasn't like that before. He found his calling. What's cracking like Mr. Pasa's definitely up in the casa. The homie Derek up in the building getting ready to make the Skrilla, the bacon, the cheddar. That's right, the guap. I feel you, bro. The homie Dashpool's definitely up in the house as well. What's good, Loke? Chilling like a villain. Yeah, Nick Fuentes said his dad is Mexico. That's Mexican. My guess is that he might be French. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, that guy's he's a goofball. Like, you could just see his immaturity, like when Donald Trump won and he was like, we won, women lost again, your body, your choice, and I'm just like, like a third grader, like a fourth grader. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, so childish. Like, you know how stupid you sound right now, bro? Like, I don't understand how anybody could follow that individual, to be honest with you, or support him. Like, what a clown. And that's not even because we share like different views, right? But it's just like, see how he's behaving. That's just crazy. What other presidents have done horrible things? Well, it depends what you consider horrible to be, right? I mean, Obama, accidentally, bombed a bunch of villages in Libya and killing all kinds of people. I mean, that could be seen kind of as, oh shit. I mean, the 2 nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasawa. I mean, that could be, you know what I mean? I mean, it just depends, It depends, because other people will see it like, no, well, that was necessary, or that one was an error, or we had to, you know what I mean? But compared to like a president was just motivated by his own selfish greeds and motives, like Jackson and Polk and Nixon. You know what I mean? I mean, Clinton was going to Epstein's Island. I don't know, bro. There's all kinds of shit going on. These people are awfully weird, awfully weird. I think that Clinton's scandal was just a little glimpse of what might be in there. I know about Nick Fuentes since 2019. He was always had been one who was racial views, like Charlie Clerk, for not being racial. He didn't meet his racial standard. Fuck. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. I heard Nick Fuentes say the most outlandish things ever. I was just like, stop, bro. You don't even hear these fucking white supremacist individuals talk like he does. Like, he'd be adding all that extra on there. Not even these fools that have tattooed swastikas be behaving like that fool. Fucking poser. Bet it hits good. Yeah, I bet so. My little is definitely up in the building. Love you, baby. Looking into story is very interesting. On top of, he made a song ending towards. Serio? Read the story. Okay, peep it out. Like, he was an actual psychopath, or he was just one of these individuals that wants to just say he was that. His story is number 1. Sorry, in hip hop music right now. Oh, is it? Was he a real psychopath, or was it one of those King Von type shits? Who made the story? Was it Traveler Ross? What if Trump supporters say this? What if Trump, if he were to be a serious crime? Nah, they'll still side with that individual. They'll side with Trump just because of where Trump stands on the political side of the spectrum. He cannot do no wrong to them, at least, because in admitting his wrongs will be admitting that their views, that there's I guess they could be wrong in their views, right? So they're not willing to accept that. I miss Tony from stories from Amber. Tony, the guy with the mask, Tony's from a story convicted felon or some shit like that. Why? What happened to him? His channel finally got taken down, or he finally took the hint, or what? I mean, I give him props. He is pretty bold. You know what I mean? It's not the smartest type of way to run a channel, but considering the fact that he was still local. You know that people speak on stuff, right? But they're like in different states, right? The fact that he was doing it while he was still local is like pretty brazy. He did something so horrible I can't even comment without being removed. Damn, serio? That's crazy. Now this happened just now. He targeted an innocent 15-year-old lady who was his girlfriend. Sounds like a scumbag already. Don't forget people got going on the show. No, I believe that. I definitely believe that 100%. I definitely believe that. He really believed that it was just a game or something like that. He didn't realize how he was playing with people's lives. It's crazy. Hey, anything for the bag, no? For the view? We all can get psycho. Insane. Well, yeah, anybody could be pushed to that break point. That's why whenever people try to describe a psychopath, they always try to, add all this extra to it, trying to, steer them further away as possible from, being relatable. Because the fact that he was just another human being that could be pushed to that breaking point, it scares people. To think it could be your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your cousin, the mailman, you. It makes people unsettled. Jimmy Kimmel sucks, but enough for him to take off the air. No one's paying attention to him. No one cares about him, except me. He's a loser. Yet somehow I'm still mad at the stuff he says about me. Somehow I still hear about it even though his show's trash. Somehow it still bothers me what he says about me, even though he's nobody. Trump don't pay attention to him. Uh-huh. That's why he's always triggered by them. But your defense contradicts his behavior, right? Somebody's got to be lying, and it's not going to be the behavior. Yeah, on top of that, the guy made a music video and a song about killing a female partner. For example, the song Romantic Homicide. Oh, okay. I think I know who that guy is. Yeah, he's the guy that came out in the news where his car was found somewhere over here in LA and there was a body in the trunk. Right? And he was somewhere and God knows where the fuck. And his car was impounded. That guy you're talking about, no? I don't really know too much of the details behind the story, right? Of what transpired, with that, or what was the reason for all of that, right? I mean, it looks suspect as fuck. I mean, the car's under your name. There's a body in the trunk. It's not looking too good for you. You didn't report the car missing or stolen or nothing. I don't know. He has to be like the worst criminal ever. I don't know what exactly was his plan here, if he even had a plan. Clearly, he didn't have a plan. But fuck, so reckless like that? Brother didn't even bother to get a G ride? Crazy. What personality disorder would you say Bonnie and Clyde had? Shit, Bonnie and Clyde? Definitely they were fucking grandiose, narcissistic. Nah, I wouldn't say psychopathic because they actually cared for each other. They definitely had a sense of entitlement. But I know he had Stephen Colbert canceled too. No, he's going after all the late night shows. And Romantic Homicide was his first popular song too. Oh, so he was already like kind of hinting at what he was gonna do. 14-year-old found this man. Decomposing. And it said, oh, all right. Yeah, that's what I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, in your own car? Like, what the fuck was your plan? What exactly was your plan here? Like, he was just gonna chill and pretend like it is like nothing suspicious is happening? Or like they were never gonna find that the car was his? Or I don't know. Like, clearly he didn't have a game plan. Like, this was a fucking idiot. How old was he? Because he looks young, but I don't know. I don't know how old he actually was. At least from the pictures I had seen, he looked young. He looked like he was in, like, 18, 17. I don't know. I don't really know his age. Would Trump stop the deportation if his wife and kids were to tell him to stop and tone it down? Fuck no. Hell no, he wouldn't. If anything, if anything, for them saying that, he'll crank it up. You know, for even suggesting such. He doesn't give a fuck about Melania and what she has to say. She's just a prop to him. She has always been just a prop to him. All his wives have always been props to him. Donald Trump never loved none of them. Maybe check it out. Yeah, that individual was definitely. Eminem was always at the top. Yeah, but he never did anything. Yeah, that is true. Which was bizarre either way. None of those tracks. It's like, whoa, keep your emotions on check, bro. We don't always want to hear about how you fucking hate this bitch, right? Pour it on your own time, Al. On top of that, he was dating the girl. She was only 14 or 15. There are videos of them together and text messages come from her. Damn. How old was that bastard? Because he looked young too. Like, from the picture I had seen on the news, he looked like a youngster himself. But I don't really know how old the individual was. He was like, was he 20? Oh, shit. He looked younger in his pictures. I could have sworn that fucker was like fucking 17 or some shit like that. Yeah, that individual was. I wonder what the fuck could have happened for that incident to happen. Wait, but didn't they say that wasn't? It wasn't only just that, but there was another body found in a different car that was connected to him, or some shit like that, or a burning body, or I don't know. I thought I heard some shit like that too. Is it emo? R&B singer or not? Smart dude, emotional. So he's like bipolar. So he's one of those individuals who can't keep his emotions on check. So any small disagreement could turn into a big ass fucking, like, full blown argument with violence. It always blows my mind. Like, these individuals have all the money in the world, and clearly, what all the money in the world brings fame. Fame brings attention. Attention brings women just looking to score their opportunity to maybe make it big, right? So they have their pickings. They could just pick any of these females that are out there. There's fucking millions of them, right? Women, actually, women. But instead of that, they're gonna go and instead hang out with a 15-year-old. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. Like you have all these pickings of all these women, and yet you choose to go hang out with a child. And obviously, I know the reason for it is because obviously these individuals always target, teenagers because they want to be in control. They want to mold them. They want to be the the ones making the decisions, the dominant figures, right? And they already know that if they hook up with a woman roughly around their age, they won't be able to do that with them because they won't allow themselves. Because obviously at that age, they don't allow themselves, right? So with a child, he can at least, groom them into being however the fuck you know, they're more attracted to the power dynamic than the actual child in itself. It's crazy. His relationship with his father must have not been a good one. He must have been a dominant person. What do you think about the movie 187? Movie 187 was alright. That's the one with Samuel Jackson and KOS and all of them, which is an actual real crew that has been around for a long, 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 long time. Since like 70s probably. Maybe not that old, right? But I feel like it's old already, the 70s as of, you know, 2025 now. That was a wild story in history. Recent times. Yeah, probably. Why do celebrities use their money to self better themselves instead? They choose because they got to keep their illusion going. They got to keep up their charade, their act. You know what I mean? They got to keep the facade going. They painted themselves a certain way, so now that they achieve money, they got to keep running with the narrative. If not, they could be called out. That's why it's not never good to come with a lie, because then people expect this lie to be true, right? So then you got to keep the lie going, and you make new lies to cover up those lies, and it just becomes this fucking domino effect. YouTube is definitely well. Even Sunny Boy made a video talking about he was in back of a cop car for taking off on some fool. In serio? Damn, that's crazy. He was weird about going to county with no socks on his own Air Force One. He said that's why he was weird. But anyways, like, that is crazy. So he recently got busted for taking off with some guy, and he got caught. But we'll look a video. Get a chance. That is crazy. The individual's a trip. Look at, look at I scope out Sunny Boy channel from time to time. I rarely scope out any of these individuals' channels, right? Normally, when I'm watching YouTube, I'm always watching like whether it be like videos about science or psychology or sports or you know like real crime investigations, right? I rarely watch anything street related or anything like that. Or if not music or instrumentals, beats and stuff like that, right? But I'm rarely watching anything that has to do with any of these YouTubers. Well, no disrespect to them, right? It's just stuff that just really it doesn't catch my attention. Like if it comes out like on the algorithm, like I'll listen to it. But normally, I'm always searching up like science stuff or historic stuff or psychology. My algorithm is already works around that, right? So any type of video will come up like request or recommended to me. It's always relating around those topics. You get what I'm saying? Like my algorithm's already set. Did you see that for YouTube crushing? Huh, I made a video talking about that. Yeah, a few subscribers had pointed it out. They had sent me the clip, but they had sent me the one of Chemo Flicks channel that uploaded the video. And I'm just like, the hell? I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, why? Why would you do that? Hey, that's the worst thing you can do is just come on YouTube and do some shit like that. Even if you are fed up with these individuals, though, they are not worth that, bro. They are not worth none of that. They're definitely not worth none of that. You know? If you're gonna go out, fucking go out because on some shit that's worth it. But these individuals in their lives, bro, they are not worth that kind of shit. You know what I mean? They truly are not. Like, bro, everyone knows how they are already. Everyone knows that they fake. Everybody know we're all on the same page, bro. So, like, why are you stressing over it, bro? No one really believes these individuals. Trust. He said he's all good for. He won't get pressed for his channel. Who, Sonny? Nah, I don't see why Sonny would get pressed for his channel. Sonny never talks about shit he shouldn't talk about. Remember, these individuals are only gonna care if if on your channel you're speaking on something that's gonna affect them and what they have going on in there, like affecting their, empire in there, right? That's why it's always said to don't speak about nothing that happens behind the walls. Keep that information off the internet because everything behind the walls is ongoing. Even if you are talking about yourself, right? Like how you were getting around or how you were doing stuff or how you were smuggling stuff in, like you're giving tips to maybe law enforcement that they don't know about, right? That they can now look into and bust them, that these individuals, tactics that these individuals are still using, right? So you don't want to start rattling their, beds. Because once what you're speaking on starts to affect them in there, then they're going to have the issue. But as long as what you speak on doesn't affect them, they don't give a fuck. Plain and simple. Which I never hear Sonny, going into any of that, talk. Or talk about these groups or these individuals. Dame Dash is so you can. Damn! 300 mil? Shit! That's quite a penny. What is that for? I don't know. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or whatever, but he's some Sandman dude. He said Boxer's little YouTube page help. Oh, I thought he had a YouTube channel. I thought he was a YouTuber. So he has to have a YouTube channel. No, or how did you upload that video? Right? Oh, they keep talking shit on there. Yeah, but I mean, they all they do is talk shit. So he about to boop out. He'll slip it. You can't make this up. He probably will. I could see those individuals actually getting in a fight. They're both stubborn like that. And apparently they clearly don't like each other, right? So I could see that happening. I don't think it's something that should be thrown out there on the internet, but I could see it happening. It's not going to accomplish anything, but Sonny did a lot of self-incriminating on his videos before about to this. Serio? I don't know. I don't really scope out his content like that, right? So can't really say if but that's crazy. Every time I see him, he's with it. Once again, that is mess with his. You should see the in the same way. I don't want to throw things. He said you don't go live for people to see. Yeah, it's a trip. Hopefully, homie, stays on the right path and he stops worrying about bull jive. Life's too short to be sweating bullshit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We gotta get back to it. It was good being it up with you guys, and we out.